Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is Carol and this is the Frugal PA. So guys, I just want to apologize in advance that this is going to be a long one, and I hope you enjoy it. And I might actually split this up into a multiple part video. So the first few things that I'm going to talk about might seem obvious, but I think it's worth telling and sharing. So the first thing that you want is a really good laptop. With this laptop in PA school, you're going to do everything from taking notes, taking exams, taking quizzes, going on Blackboard, submitting assignments. So you really need to have a great laptop. Now you can really go with whatever laptop you want, but for PA school, and make sure that you always follow whatever program specific requirements, that your program has. But for PA school, I definitely suggest at least like an Intel Core i5 or i7. You need at least 8 gigabytes of RAM so that you can do all of your multitasking. You need a lot of memory unless you have access to like some sort of iCloud or something. A lot of times you can get that through your school, but I would suggest at least 250 gigabytes for your memory. That way you can store all of your PowerPoints and notes and everything that you're going to get, all of your documents and stuff for PA school. Sometimes the PA school PowerPoints can get very lengthy. I think the one that I had that was the longest was like over 200 something slides. I mean, it takes up a lot of memory, so you definitely need a good amount of memory on your laptop. And it's also great to have an SSD, which is solid state drive. These are really awesome rather than like a regular hard drive, because your laptop will start right up and all of your documents load very quickly and download quickly. So definitely recommend a solid state drive. Another thing that your laptop needs to have is a lot of battery power. So I know during my PA school, we were literally in class during didactics, for literally from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. So your laptop literally needs to last all freaking day. And sometimes you don't have time to charge your laptop, and a lot of times you also don't have access to an outlet. I know in some classrooms we did during my program, but not every classroom did have access to power cords. I know during lunch I got to charge. So this Microsoft Surface Pro actually charges pretty much fully within an hour. So during lunch, I just always made sure to plug in and just charge as much as possible. So always great and always really important to have great battery life. Also really important to have device insurance. I know it's like an extra $100, $200 or whatever, but it's totally worth it. If you damage your device or, spill coffee on it or something while you're studying, or somebody accidentally knocks it off the table during class or something, like your device is covered and they will either fix it for you or totally replace it. So always very important. So in total, you're looking at, quite a bit of money. You can spend upwards of, $2,000 if you want to. It really depends on, what laptop you get. But definitely recommend all of those things. And it's really important to have a great laptop for PA school. So next up is going to be an iPad. You can either get the Pro, Air, Mini, just regular. Definitely get an Apple Pencil, a little case for it, and some protective screen glass in case you drop it or something. You won't actually crack your screen. So first thing, you really need at least 250 gigabytes on that. I definitely recommend Wi-Fi or cellular, plus cellular, so that you don't have to worry about if you ever have internet or no internet or anything. It'll work anywhere, anytime. Again, device insurance is always a must, and you're looking at probably upwards of $1,000 for an iPad. I definitely recommend the Mini, though, because it's easier to take notes on a bigger one, but if you're thinking long-term, the Mini is the best because you can take it on your clinical rotations. It'll fit in scrub pockets, and it's absolutely perfect for taking on rounds and things. And you can still write on it with an Apple Pencil. So I recommend the Mini, and I actually have a regular iPad and a Mini, and I use the Mini way more than my regular one because, like I said, it fits in my scrub pocket. I can take it on my clinicals, and most people don't even realize like that I'm actually writing on an iPad. They think it's a regular notebook until they notice the Apple Pencil. So it's really great and definitely a must-have. So some other obvious things is you really want, especially for clinicals, you want to get you some nice little notebooks so you can take around and it'll fit in your scrubs. You can also get you a little whiteboard. I have this little desk whiteboard, and it stands up and you can just write you a little to-do list on it. And it's great and wonderful and I love it. And it's glass, and you get these dry erase markers that are ultra fine. Definitely love the 4-color pens. They have this little ring on it so that you can put it on your badge. Definitely recommend the best backpack you can find, especially if your school is large and you have multiple places you have to go. I know for my PA school, I was having to walk all around campus with my backpack. So definitely make sure that it'll hold everything that you need, your laptop, iPad, a textbook if you have it, and everything. Also recommend some great highlighters. I personally love these little ones. It comes in the multi-pack. You have all these color options, and it has like the little see-through things so you can actually see what you're highlighting. So definitely recommend those. So next we're on to scrubs. So my favorite scrubs are these Uniform Advantage Buttersoft Stretch Scrubs. It literally feels like you're walking around in your PJs. So absolutely love it. It comes in several sizes from extra, extra small to 5X, tall, regular, petite, everything that you need there. It comes in like 30 plus colors, which is awesome. So double check that your program doesn't require any specific scrubs or specific colors or anything like that before you buy them. But if you can buy whatever you want or whatever brand you want, I definitely recommend these. And Uniform Advantage always has some sort of sale going on. I think right now these are actually 60% off depending on the color. So definitely recommend Uniform Advantage. These scrubs are awesome. Okay, so now on to some not so obvious things. I get asked all the time, what are the best note-taking apps? And really it depends on kind of what you like the best. So you can either write directly on PowerPoint, you can write on Microsoft OneNote, and you can upload PowerPoints and stuff to this Notability, GoodNote, and Microsoft OneNote, and you can write directly on them. You can also write out to the side or make tables and a whole bunch of other things you can do with these apps. I definitely recommend giving them all a try, just to see kind of like what you like the best, and just stick with it all throughout PA school because you get really good at using these apps. And also double check with your institution to see if you get Microsoft Office for free. A lot of people don't realize that you can get that for free and they end up paying for it, but actually you can download Microsoft Office for free with a lot of programs. Okay, so now we're probably getting to the most helpful part of this video. If you're still watching, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. So the most helpful websites that I found during didactics, especially, trying to study and, all of these things, these are all very, very, very helpful and recommend that you check each one of these out. So first up is MedComics. I definitely love these. They're funny and really cute little comics, and they help you memorize different things. Osmosis is always awesome. They have helpful videos, animated videos on pretty much anything you can think of, any medical topic. Specific drug classes, specific disease states, different medicines, like pretty much anything you can think of, pharmacology, anatomy, physiology. I mean, literally anything you can think of, they probably have it, or it's probably in the works. They also have these really awesome notes that you can download and use. Next up is Picmonic. I personally didn't really like Picmonic. They didn't really help me, but I know a lot of classmates used it and they really liked it. It wasn't really for me, but a lot of people loved it. Also for your textbooks and things, definitely recommend Kindle. Carrying around a billion textbooks can get really heavy. The only downside to having e-textbooks is that you can't sell them when you're done with them. But I definitely recommend Kindle textbooks. You can keep them forever. It weighs like 2 pounds in your pocket with iPad. Next up is Quizlet, flashcards on pretty much anything. You can find a whole bunch. Check with previous classes to see if they have Quizlets made already. You may not have to actually make any yourself, but you can. You can also get Quizlet Plus. I'm not really sure what the difference is between regular and Plus, but there is a Plus version. I think it's only like $10 a year or something like that with a student ID. So super helpful. Definitely use those during didactics. So whenever you start learning about EKGs, definitely recommend this SkillStat website. It's got an EKG simulator on it, and you can quiz yourself. Blue Link has a bunch of cadaver anatomy pictures, definitely helpful for anatomy and physiology studying. They also have specific questions and things that you can answer to test yourself and quiz yourself. Very, very, very helpful website. Next up to date, pretty obvious. You can look up literally anything on there, and it's the most up-to-date information you can find. The Physician Assistant Exam Review is actually a podcast that you can listen to. So if you got a long drive or something, you can listen to that in the car. The guy that does it is awesome, and he'll teach you a lot. So definitely recommend that. Access Medicine, they have a bunch of free flashcards, quiz questions. They have free textbooks. They have what you call auscultation library. Literally, they have like the most awesome, helpful resources. So see if your institution gets that. You can probably check through your library to see if you have access to that for free. If not, I definitely recommend that. And last up is this Promo Focus. It is a online study timer, and it'll tell you when to take breaks and everything. So it's really helpful during study time. Okay, so next up is most helpful books for didactics and clinicals. So your program definitely will have their own requirements, but I definitely recommend these kind of on the side, or maybe they even have some of these on your list. So current medical diagnosis and treatment, it's like a whole series of books. They have like Pediatrics, Geriatrics, Emergency Medicine, OBGYN, Primary Care. I think there's a few more. It's a whole series of textbooks that are very helpful and accurate and awesome. Literally everything you can think of a disease, it's probably in there. For psychology, the DSM-5 Pocket Guide is also very helpful. Whenever you start talking about surgery or go on your surgical rotation, definitely recommend Surgical Recall. It's got a bunch of cute pictures and things that help you study for those procedures that you're going to do. PANCE Prep Pearls is definitely, one of the most common books to get. There's also a new book called First Line Guide that is it's very similar to PANCE Prep Pearls, but I actually prefer it mostly because it's in one book instead of two. Clinical Dermatology is a great book. It's got a bunch of pictures of different types of skin lesions and things. So if dermatology is your thing, I definitely recommend getting that. For your geriatric rotation, and whenever you get to geriatrics during didactics, Geriatrics at Your Fingertips has everything geriatric specific. It's a great book, and it helped me pass my geriatric EOR. Very great book. Next up is the Pocket Pass series. These are little pocket-sized little books that you can take on your clinical rotations. There's one for just plain physician assistant, which has, all the different types of, categories like cardiology, GI, all those things. There's specific ones like general surgery. I think there's one for orthosurgery, emergency medicine, and there's a couple more. Very helpful and a cute little textbook full of questions that you will be asked during your clinical rotations. Another cute thing to keep in your pocket is this little Maxwell Quick Medical Reference Guide. It's got ACLS algorithms in it, normal lab values, different how to write notes and things. It's got history, physical exam things, how to do a neuro exam, mental status exam. It's even got a Glasgow Coma score in it, dermatome maps, and just you can even write your personal notes in there. It's got immunization schedules, developmental milestones. It's literally pocket size. It'll fit in your pocket. It is is great. It's even got a little eye chart on the back. This is like the number one thing to buy for clinical rotations. Okay, next up is the EMRA antibiotic guide. If antibiotics are not your thing, I definitely recommend getting that book. It'll give you all the different options. It'll give you clinical pearls. So basically it'll list out like a disease and then all of the antibiotics that you can use for it. It's got an antibiotic chart at the back as well. It's very helpful. Next up, PANCE and PANRE question book. It's got literally hundreds of questions that are very helpful when studying for your PANCE and EORs, and it's just a great book to study with. Next up is Essentials of Pediatrics by Nelson. This book was recommended to me while I was on my pediatric rotation, and if pediatrics is your thing, this book is absolutely a must-have. Okay, so next up is most helpful websites for clinicals. So I'm currently on my 6th out of 12 clinical rotations, so there's probably a lot more than this, and I'll definitely add to it as I go along. But first up is Smarty Pants. Definitely has a lot of good review things. It literally has EOR exams and things on it that you can take. Now, I think that these are actually easier than probably what your actual EOR will be, but they're still great study questions and things. So you can also it literally goes in order of the blueprint too. So you can study just using this, and it'll give you a lot of the information that you need to know for your EOR. Next up is UWorld. I did not actually use this, but I know a lot of my classmates did, and they absolutely loved it. It's just another question bank filled with questions to help with your EOR exam. So next up, Twist of Lemons. She's awesome. She has uploaded her EOR study guides, which I have used to study with and pass my EORs. They're awesome. I did have to update a little bit because I think she made those like a few years ago, but most of the information that you need is there. I also added a lot of pictures to mine because there's not a lot of pictures, but it is a great starting point and helped so much. So if you don't want to spend hours making your own EOR study guides, definitely recommend Twist of Lemons. There's also Life with Me, PA Bree. She also has her EOR study guides on there. They're definitely different, and I think studying both Twist of Lemons and the Life with Me, PA Bree EOR study guides together, and you got all the information that you need for your EOR exams. So next up, Hippocrates. This is an amazing app that I used on my clinical rotations, am using on my clinical rotations. It's got everything you need for different medications. So if you need to look something up real quick, that is a great tool to use. Another obvious tool is Up to Date. Up to Date always has great information on it. Whenever you get to your surgery rotation, there's a few websites that you can use. There's C-Surgeries, and there's a few more out there that you can watch surgery videos so you can go into the OR prepared and know it's coming up. Rosh Review has an amazing question bank. They literally have thousands of questions that you can go through to help study for EOR and PANCE. So definitely use those. Okay, last but not least is your clinical must-haves. Again, I'm only on rotation 6 out of 12, so I'm sure that I will definitely add to this list. But as of right now, this is what I got for you. I got a practice suture kit, an Eco Core digital stethoscope. If you have trouble hearing heart and lung sounds, you definitely need to get this. It is pretty expensive, but it is definitely worth it. I went from unable to hear it, like pretty much anything. Like you can't hardly hear heart sounds on a lot of people. So going from that to this, and now I'm able to pick up murmurs and things that even like physicians with years of experience can't hear. So like, for example, I was on my pediatric rotation and I could literally hear like this one kid had a murmur, and the doctor was like, I literally hear nothing. I handed him my stethoscope, my Eco Core, and he was like, oh my gosh, I never would have heard that. So it's definitely a must-have. Next up, you need to have some great shoes or great insoles. So these insoles I actually just bought yesterday because my feet were killing me after spending 15 hours in the OR. These are awesome. I've literally had them for 5 hours and loved them already. Next up is an H&P notebook. You don't really need this, but it helps you keep on track and keep things simple. It's got different sections that you can use to take your notes in. Next up is a little PAS badge for you. They have different colors. Those are on scrubpocket.com. They have a bunch of things. They also have like this comprehensive card set that you can get. Definitely take a peek at those. They have awesome cards. They have, lab values, dermatomes, EKG stuff, neuro exam. They literally have pretty much anything you could think of. And lastly, these cute little badge reels. They're so cute. I always get comments on mine. I'm wearing the heart one, and it's so cute, and I love it. And I get comments all the time. So definitely get your clinical must-haves down, and hope you enjoy, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I know it's been a long one. I really appreciate you guys. Have a great day or night wherever you're at, and we'll see you with the next video. Thank you.